Welcome the Unknown Truth Evaluation Episode 1. Friends, we live on this earth every day, walking, breathing, laughing. But have you ever wondered, where did this planet actually begin? How was this blue world born? The one filled with life, love, and nature. Today we'll explore the great mystery of Earth's creation through the lens of science and faith. Around 4.6 billion years ago, a massive cloud of gas and dust, called the solar nebula, floated in space. A nearby star exploded, causing the cloud to spin rapidly. Gradually, matter gathered at the center to form the sun, and the remaining dust came together to form planets. Among those young planets was our home, Earth. In the beginning, Earth was a fiery ball, full of lava, molten rocks, and volcanoes, but with time it began to cool down, forming layers, the crust, mantle, and core. Gradually, mountains, oceans, and the sky were formed. Once, Earth had no water at all. So where did all the oceans, rivers, and lakes come from? Scientists believe that billions of years ago, icy comets and asteroids struck the Earth, bringing frozen water. As the ice melted, it spread across the planet. Some scientists also suggest that water was formed through chemical reactions deep inside the Earth. About 3.5 billion years ago, life began in Earth's primitive oceans through chemical reactions. Tiny single-celled organisms appeared, invisible to the naked eye, yet the very beginning of life. They used sunlight to make food and released oxygen. That oxygen turned Earth into a habitable planet. Over millions of years, these tiny organisms evolved into plants, animals, and eventually human beings. This long journey of evolution made Earth vibrant with life. Science gives one explanation, but religion offers another. In Islam, the Quran says, Allah created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, and his throne was upon the water. Surah Hud 11:7. Christianity teaches that God created the world in 6 days and rested on the seventh. In Hinduism, it is said that Brahma created the universe from his own thoughts. All religions agree Earth is not an accident. It is the Creator's grand design. Today, Earth is home to around 8.7 million species. Every creature depends on another for survival. The distance from the sun, gravity, and oxygen levels. Everything is perfectly balanced to support life. If Earth were a little closer to the sun, all water would evaporate. If it were a little farther, everything would freeze. This perfect balance is one of Earth's greatest mysteries. Today, humans are the most intelligent species, but also the most dangerous. Deforestation, pollution, and global warming are threatening our future. To save Earth, we must become its protectors. Earth is not just a planet. It's our home, our mother. Its creation is a miracle, and we are all part of it. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more mysteries like this. See you in the next video. Thank you.
Evaluation, Episode 1. This is the unknown truth. 4.5 billion years ago, there was no Earth. No oceans, no sky, no life. Just dust, floating cosmic dust in the endless dark of space. But this dust carried something powerful, the raw materials to create worlds. Astronomers call it the solar nebula, a massive cloud of gas and dust left over after a gigantic star exploded in a supernova. That explosion scattered heavy elements like iron, silicon, and carbon, the same elements that now make up our planet and our bodies. About 4.6 billion years ago, gravity began to pull this cloud inward. At its center, pressure and heat grew until, boom, the sun was born. The sun became a fiery nuclear furnace, giving light and energy to the young solar system. But around it, millions of pieces of dust and rock kept spinning, colliding, combining, and growing. These tiny grains began sticking together. Bit by bit, they formed planetesimals, small baby planets. Over millions of years, these planetesimals smashed into each other, creating bigger and bigger worlds. Among them, one special planet began to grow, Earth. The early Earth was not the blue paradise we know today. It was a ball of molten rock, constantly bombarded by asteroids and comets. Temperatures reached thousands of degrees. The surface was an ocean of lava. But even in this chaos, something incredible was happening. Heavier elements like iron and nickel sank to the center, forming Earth's core. Lighter materials rose upward, creating the mantle and crust. This process made our planet layered, like a cosmic onion. About 4.5 billion years ago, a Mars-sized object called the slammed into young Earth. The impact was so violent that molten rock was blasted into space, forming a ring around the planet. Over time, that ring came together to form our moon. Without that collision, Earth might never have had tides, or stable seasons, or life as we know it. For millions of years, Earth slowly cooled. Volcanoes released gases, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, water vapor. Those gases formed our first atmosphere. Then, as the planet cooled even more, rain began to fall. Not for hours, not for days, but for thousands of years. And those endless rains created the first oceans, the cradle of life. Next part, right pointing arrow. How life began on Earth and how the planet evolved into what we see today. The newborn Earth had finally cooled, and oceans now covered its surface. But these oceans were not calm or peaceful. They were filled with lightning, volcanic gases, and chemical storms. In this chaos, nature was writing the first chapter of life. Scientists believe that, around 3.8 billion years ago, chemical reactions deep in the oceans, perhaps near hydrothermal vents, formed the first organic molecules. From these molecules, something extraordinary emerged. The first living cell, the origin of all life. These tiny creatures, called prokaryotes, ruled the Earth for billions of years. They didn't need oxygen. They lived on simple chemical energy from rocks and sunlight. But soon, one type of microbe changed everything: cyanobacteria. These tiny blue-green organisms could use sunlight to make food, a process called photosynthesis. And the waste product of photosynthesis? Oxygen. Slowly, the oxygen they released began to fill Earth's atmosphere, turning a toxic world into a planet that could breathe. Scientists call this event the Great Oxygenation, about 2.4 billion years ago. Without it, complex life, plants, animals, and humans, would never have existed. But change always comes with a price. The rise of oxygen cooled the planet dramatically. Volcanic gases decreased, and sunlight reflected off new clouds. Earth entered its deepest ice age. Snowball Earth. For millions of years, the planet was frozen solid. Oceans turned to ice. Life barely survived. But deep beneath the frozen surface, volcanic heat kept tiny life forms alive, waiting for the right moment to rise again. Volcanoes continued to erupt, releasing carbon dioxide. Gradually, the planet warmed again. Around 600 million years ago, life began to change. Simple cells started joining together, forming multicellular organisms. Then came the Cambrian explosion, about 541 million years ago. A burst of evolution that filled the oceans with incredible creatures. Trilobites, jellyfish, worms, and early fish. This was the dawn of complex life, and the beginning of the story of animals. While life was evolving, Earth itself was transforming. Its crust broke into giant pieces, tectonic plates, that floated over molten rock. These plates collided, pulled apart, and reshaped the planet's surface. Mountains rose, oceans opened, continents drifted. Over time, they formed one giant supercontinent, Pangaea. Then it split apart again, creating the world we know today. About 470 million years ago, plants began to grow on land. They released more oxygen, thickened the atmosphere, and changed the planet's climate. Soon after, the first land animals appeared, insects, amphibians, and later, reptiles. By 250 million years ago, Earth entered the age of dinosaurs, a world ruled by giants. Forests, oceans, and skies were full of life. But this age, too, would end in fire. Next up, right pointing arrow. The fall of the dinosaurs, the rise of mammals, and how humans appeared, the final chapter of Earth's creation story. Globe fire. 66 million years ago, disaster struck. A giant asteroid, about 6 miles wide, slammed into the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. The explosion released more energy than 1 billion nuclear bombs. Firestorms swept across the continents. Ash and dust filled the sky, blocking sunlight for months. Within weeks, the dinosaurs were gone. Nearly 75% of all species vanished forever. But from destruction came rebirth. When the dinosaurs disappeared, new survivors took their place, mammals. Small, warm-blooded, intelligent creatures that could adapt to cold, dark, and hunger. Over millions of years, mammals evolved into many forms. Giant elephants, fast cheetahs, and powerful whales. And among them, a new kind of creature began to rise. One that would look at the stars and ask, "Where did I come from?" Around 6 million years ago, in Africa, a new branch of evolution began. From ancient primates came hominins, beings who walked on 2 legs. They learned to use tools. They discovered fire. They began to think, plan, and dream. By about 300,000 years ago, Homo sapiens, modern humans, had appeared. We spread across every continent. We built shelters, languages, and civilizations. And in just a few thousand years, a blink in geological time, we became the planet's most powerful species. 4.5 billion years after its birth, Earth is now a living world. With forests that breathe, oceans that move, and skies that change with every sunrise. Every atom in your body, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, was once part of a star that exploded billions of years ago. So when you look up at the night sky, remember, you are literally made of stardust. But our planet's story is not over. In another 5 billion years, the sun will begin to die. It will expand into a red giant, swallowing Mercury, Venus, and maybe even Earth. Yet, before that happens, life may evolve far beyond what we know today. Perhaps humans will travel to other worlds, carrying the memory of Earth across the stars. Earth gave birth to us. And through us, its story will continue. From dust to oceans, from chaos to life. This is the story of how our planet was created. A story written in fire, water, and time. And though we are small, we are part of something vast. The universe itself. Next part coming soon. Please like, share, and subscribe our channel.
Welcome the Unknown Truth Evaluation Episode 1. Friends, we live on this earth every day, walking, breathing, laughing. But have you ever wondered, where did this planet